The snow was falling fast, thick and white. The trees were covered in ice, and the wind was strong. It was hard to see more than a few steps ahead in the middle of this cold and silent forest. A small boy was walking alone. He was only 7 years old. His name was Ryan. His jacket was too thin and his boots were wet. His small hands were red from the cold. He held them close to his mouth, trying to keep warm. Ryan didn't know where he was. He had been in the car with his parents. They were driving through the mountains. Then something strange happened. There was a loud noise in the sky, a strange flash of blue light. The car stopped working. Everything went dark. Then came the crash, and then the snow. Ryan had been thrown. From the car, he woke up hours later, all alone. No sound, no people, just snow and wind. He called for his mom and dad. But there was no answer. He walked and walked, hoping to find someone. Anyone. Now, he was tired. His legs hurt and his stomach growled. The cold felt like knives on his skin. He saw no houses, no lights. Just endless white. He sat on a rock under a tall tree. He pulled his knees to his chest and tried not to cry. But a tear rolled down his cheek anyway. He missed his home, his warm bed, his dog Max. He just wanted to go back, but he was lost. And no one knew where he was. Suddenly, the wind stopped. The forest became still. Too still. Even the snowflakes seemed to freeze in the air. Ryan looked up, confused. That's when he saw it. A soft blue light in the sky, moving slowly. It wasn't the sun, and it wasn't a star. It was something else, something strange. A silver object floated above the trees. It made no sound, just a low hum. Ryan's eyes widened. The object came closer. Shining down like a moon, he stood up, his heart beating fast. Was it a plane? A drone? No. It was too big, too smooth, too quiet. It hovered right above him. Then a door opened from its side. A soft ramp came down. Touching the snow without a sound, a tall figure walked down slowly. Ryan's breath caught in his throat. The figure was not human. Its skin was blue and smooth. It had large black eyes and long fingers, but its body didn't look scary. It looked kind. The alien bent down and opened a silver bag. From inside, it took out a thick, soft blanket. It placed a blanket gently around Ryan's shoulders. Then it pulled out a warm food pack that smelled like soup. The boy looked up at the alien. Unsure, why was it helping him? Was it real? Was he dreaming? The alien didn't speak, but its eyes were soft. It pointed to the food. Then placed a hand on its own chest. A simple sign, I mean no harm, it seemed to say. Ryan took the food with shaking hands. He sipped from the pouch. Was warm. And good. It made his cold body feel a little better. The alien stood beside him, watching the forest. Then it looked up sharply. Its eyes narrowed. As if sensing danger, the sky flashed again. But this time, it wasn't blue. It was red and far away. A loud sound echoed through the mountains. Ryan looked at the alien. The alien looked at the boy. Then it spoke, finally, in a soft voice, not with words, but with feeling. You are not safe here. The alien pointed to the ship, then to Ryan. It was offering to help, to take him away from the cold, away from danger. Ryan didn't move. He looked back at the snowy forest one last time. Then he looked at the alien again. His lips trembled. Will you help me find my mom and dad? He whispered. The alien didn't answer with words. It gently placed a hand on Ryan's head and nodded slowly. Without another word, the alien picked up Ryan, held him close, and walked back up the ramp as the ship's door closed behind them. The snowstorm began again, but now the forest below was empty. The child was gone, rescued by something not of this world, something kind, something watching. And this was only the beginning. *, the door of the alien ship closed with a soft hiss. Inside, everything was quiet. Warm light filled the round room, and the walls shimmered like soft metal. Ryan sat on a cushioned seat, still wrapped in the blanket. He looked around with wide eyes, not sure if he was safe or dreaming. The alien sat across from him, tall and still. Its skin looked like the sky at night, dark blue with tiny white specks. It had no mouth, but its eyes showed feelings calm, deep, and curious. Ryan held the food pouch tightly. He had never seen anything like this place. There were no buttons, no screens, but the ship seemed alive. It moved gently through the sky without sound. He wanted to ask 100 questions, but no words came out. He just stared, and the alien stared back. Then, slowly, the alien lifted one long hand and touched the air. A soft circle of light appeared in front of him. Inside the circle, shapes and pictures moved like water. A tree, the sun, the earth, and finally, a child. Ryan pointed at the child's picture. "That's me," he whispered. The alien blinked once and nodded. Then it placed its hand on its own chest. A soft voice came not from the mouth, but inside Ryan's mind. "My name is Elor." The voice said, "I came to watch, not to harm." Ryan's mouth opened in shock. "You? You can talk inside my head," he said slowly. Elor nodded. The ship flew higher, above the clouds, through a round window. Ryan could see stars beginning to shine, but his heart was still heavy. "What about my mom and dad?" he asked. Voice shaking, Elor looked away for a moment, then showed another image in the air. A broken car, covered in snow. 2 adults nearby, alive but unconscious. "They are not gone," Elor said. "They are sleeping. Humans will find them soon." Relief filled Ryan's chest like warm light. He didn't understand how Elor knew these things, but he believed him. Then Elor showed more pictures, machines with legs, sharp arms, and red lights. "They are not from my world," Elor explained. "They followed me here. I was not the only one watching Earth." Ryan leaned closer, his fear returning. "What do they want?" he asked. Elor touched the air again. A new picture showed cities burning, people running, skies turning black. "They want to take," Elor said, "not to help." A deep hum filled the ship. Warning lights blinked near the ceiling. Elor stood quickly and walked to the side wall, which opened like a flower. Inside was a hidden chamber full of tools, round crystals, and glowing rings. Elor picked up a silver band and placed it gently on Ryan's wrist. The band was warm and tight, but not painful. "What is this?" Ryan asked. "It will protect you," Elor said. "Your body is small, soft, but your mind, your heart, very strong." Ryan didn't know what that meant. He just nodded and held his arms close. He still felt small, still felt scared, but Elor's presence made him feel less alone. Suddenly, the ship turned fast. Through the window, red lights were following 3 strange ships, sharp and fast. "They have found us," Elor said calmly. "They do not want you to live." Ryan gasped. "Why me?" "You saw me," Elor replied. "You were not meant to. And now they know you exist." The ship dove downward toward the mountains again. Snow blew wildly outside as the chase began. Elor pressed his hand to the wall, and the ship responded, flying like a bird in storm. But the red ships were fast. One fired a beam just missed the side. The ship shook, and Ryan grabbed the seat tightly. Elor did not speak now, only moved, one hand on the wall, one near the glowing tools. Then suddenly, the ship dived between 2 tall cliffs. The red ships followed, but the gap was too narrow. One crashed into the rock, exploding in fire. Elor's ship slipped through a hidden cave in the mountains. Dark and deep, it swallowed the light behind them. Inside, the ship came to a stop, silent and safe. Ryan fell back into the seat. breathing hard. "Are we safe now?" he asked. "For now," Elor replied, "but this is just the beginning." He looked at the boy again. "I did not expect to find a human child in the snow," he said. "But perhaps the universe has chosen you for a reason." Ryan didn't understand, but he knew one thing: he was no longer alone, and he was part of something far bigger than he had ever imagined. The cave was dark and deep, but it was not cold. Strange glowing plants covered the walls, their light soft like moonlight. Ryan sat quietly on a smooth stone. Still holding the warm blanket, Elor stood near the entrance of the cave, watching the sky with silent focus. Inside, the air smelled clean, like rain and fresh soil. There was no sound but Ryan's soft breathing and the low hum of Elor's ship. For the first time in hours, Ryan didn't feel afraid. He looked at the glowing crystals around him. They seemed to change color slowly, like they were breathing. Elor turned and walked over, holding something in his long hand. It looked like a round stone, but it floated above his palm. "This," Elor said gently, "is a memory orb." He placed it on the ground between them, and the orb glowed bright in the light. Pictures appeared, moving shapes and sounds. Ryan saw forests, stars, and tall beings like Elor, walking on other planets. "This is my world," Elor said. "We live in peace. We do not take. We do not fight." Ryan's eyes were wide with wonder. He had never seen anything like it. Then the pictures changed. He saw Earthosians, cities, humans. But then he saw fire, ships falling from the sky, and machines with red eyes. "These," Elor said with sadness, "are the others. They take life to build their own." Ryan looked down, feeling small again. "Why are you showing me this?" he asked. "I'm just a kid." Elor knelt down so their eyes were level. "You are not just a kid," he said. "You are a witness. You saw me and you accepted my help. Your heart did not fear. Your mind did not judge." Ryan looked up, confused. "You mean not special?" Elor nodded slowly. "Many adults forget how to see truth," he said. "But children, they still see with open hearts." Ryan felt strange, like something inside him was waking up, like he had a role to play, even if he didn't know what. It was yet suddenly, a sharp sound echoed in the cave. Elor turned quickly. Placing a hand on Ryan's shoulder, he pointed to the wall, and a small image appeared, a red dot moving through the mountain. "They are searching for us," Elor said. "We must move soon." Ryan stood up, clutching the blanket tightly. He didn't want to run again. His legs were tired, his body still cold, but he nodded, brave in his own quiet way. Elor walked to a tall stone and pressed his hand on it. The wall behind them opened like a door, revealing a narrow tunnel. "Come," Elor said. "There is something I must show you." They walked through the tunnel, the walls glowing blue with each step. Ryan followed closely, his footsteps echoing softly. He didn't ask questions now. He just watched, listened, and trusted. At the end of the tunnel, they entered a large, round room. In the center was a tall crystal, floating in the air. The light inside it moved like a storm trapped in glass. Elor stepped forward and placed both hands on the crystal. A ring of light spread across the floor. Suddenly, images surrounded the room. Earth's history, its wars, its peace, its inventions, everything, from dinosaurs to space rockets, appeared in glowing light. "This crystal watches Earth," Elor said. "It is part of the Observer Network. We have watched your planet for hundreds of years." Ryan turned in circles, staring at the images. Then, "You know everything?" he asked. Elor nodded. "But we are not allowed to interfere," he said. "Until now." Ryan looked up at him, heart pounding. "What changed?" "You," Elor said simply. "You changed the rule. You touched an alien without fear. You trusted without reason." Ryan took a deep breath. "So, what happens now?" Elor pointed to the crystal. "This crystal has a message for Earth." He said, "A warning, but humans will not believe if it comes from me." Ryan stepped closer. "You want me to deliver the message?" Elor knelt down, placing his hands on the boy's shoulders. "Yes," he said. "You are small, but your voice carries truth." Ryan swallowed hard. He was only a child. How could he carry a message that big? But in Elor's eyes, he saw belief. Real, deep belief. And in that moment, something shifted in Ryan. He didn't feel just like a scared boy anymore. He felt chosen. Elor handed him a small, glowing device. "Keep it close," he said. "When the time is right, speak from your heart." Outside the cave, a low rumble shook the walls. The enemy was near again. Ryan looked at the exit, then at Elor. "Are we running again?" he asked. Elor smiled softly. "No," he said. "Now. We are moving forward." The cave walls shook again, louder this time. Dust fell from above as deep rumbles echoed through the mountain. Ryan grabbed Elor's arm, eyes wide with fear. "They're coming," he whispered. Elor nodded once, then turned quickly toward the tunnel they had come from. "No time," he said. "We use another way." He tapped the crystal once before. It disappeared into the floor. A door opened on the side of the room, revealing a narrow path that glowed. Beneath their feet, without another word, Elor moved forward and Ryan followed. Gripping the glowing device tightly in his hand, the path led downward into the heart of the mountain. The deeper they went, the warmer it became. The air buzzed with strange energy. Like the mountain itself was alive. Behind them, a sharp sound cracked through the tunnel metal on stone. Ryan turned back, his heart racing. He saw it's a long-legged machine crawling through the shadows, red lights flashing. "Elor!" he shouted, pointing. Elor stopped, looked back, and raised his hand. A wall of blue light appeared behind them, sealing the passage. The machine hit it hard, sparks flying. But it couldn't break through, for now, Elor said. But not for long. They kept moving. Faster now. The path twisted like a spiral. Deeper and deeper. Ryan stumbled once, but Elor caught him with one arm. "You must be strong now," Elor said. "We are almost out." After a few minutes, they reached a wide cavern. It was beautiful, full of glowing stones, waterfalls of light and floating orbs. In the center stood a tall platform with a clear circle at the top. Ryan stared at it, confused. "What is that?" he asked. "Our escape," Elor replied, "but only if your heart is steady." Before Ryan could ask what he meant, the wall behind them exploded. The machine had broken through, and now more followed. 3 red-eyed crawlers, clicking and hissing. Crawling fast like spiders, Elor grabbed Ryan's hand and ran to the platform. "Stand in the center," he said. Ryan obeyed, though his legs were shaking. Elor joined him and touched the glowing ring above them. A beam of light surrounded the two. Humming louder, the machine stopped, watching, waiting. As if unsure what would happen next, suddenly one fired a red laser shot straight toward Ryan. But the beam of light around them bent, like a shield, and deflected it. Elor closed his eyes, breathing slowly. The light pulsed faster, stronger. Wrapping around them like a storm. "Hold still," Elor said. "Think of where you feel safe." Ryan shut his eyes. He thought of his room, his dog Max, warm soup, and his parents' voices. He thought of the snow. And even the blanket Elor gave him. He thought of not being alone. Then whoosh. A sound like wind and light combined. The ground disappeared beneath them, and everything went white. For a moment, Ryan felt nothing. No cold, no heat, no fear. Then the light faded, and his feet touched solid ground again. They were standing in the middle of a forest, but not like before. This forest was quiet, full of green leaves and glowing flowers. It was night, but the sky above was full of stars, more than Ryan had. Ever seen? He turned to Elor, blinking. Where are we? A place between earth and sky, Elor said. A safe zone. Ryan looked around in awe. Bird-like lights flew between the trees, and the air smelled sweet and new for the first time. Since the snowstorm, Ryan smiled a little. It's beautiful, he said. Elor nodded. This is where I first saw your world, he explained. From here. I watched humans for many years. Ryan sat down on a rock. Breathing deeply, he felt safe for now. But questions filled his mind. Why? Are those machines chasing us? They want to erase witnesses, Elor said. They do not want peace. They want Earth, but not the humans on it. Ryan gripped the small, glowing device Elor gave him. This thing. This is what they want. Elor nodded. Yes, it holds the warning and the truth. Ryan looked at the stars above. So, we're not done running. No, Elor said, but next time, we don't run. We deliver the message. A soft wind blew through the glowing trees. Ryan stood up, no longer afraid. His legs still trembled, but his heart felt strong. He looked at Elor and smiled. I'm ready, he said. The night above them sparkled, but far away in the dark sky. A red light blinked once. The machines had not given up. They were coming again. But this time, the child and the alien would not hide. They would fight not with weapons, but with truth, and the truth was almost ready to be heard. The air in the forest had changed. It was still peaceful, but now it carried a warning. The stars above twinkled softly, but one red star blinked again. Closer than before, Elor stood still. His hand raised toward the sky. His eyes narrowed and his skin glowed faintly blue. They found us again, he said. We must reach the old cave before they arrive. Ryan didn't ask questions this time. He just followed, holding the glowing message device close to his chest. He could feel it pulsing like a heartbeat, as if the message inside was alive, waiting to be heard. They walked quickly through tall trees and soft glowing grass. Strange creatures peeked out from the bushes, but none of them seemed afraid of Elor. Ryan noticed they didn't run. They bowed their heads slightly. It was as if they knew him, trusted him, respected him. After half an hour, they reached a large, rocky hill hidden behind a waterfall. Elor moved his hand in a slow circle, and the water stopped falling. Behind it, a round stone door appeared, covered in strange symbols. This is the Archive Cave, Elor said. It holds the memories of many worlds, not just mine. He placed his hand on the door, and it opened. With a deep sound, warm light spilled out from inside. Ryan stepped in carefully. Eyes wide with wonder, the cave was massive, far bigger than it looked from the outside. The walls were made of glowing crystal, carved with stories. Floating shapes hovered in the air, homages, voices, and songs from other planets. This place is beautiful, Ryan whispered. Elor smiled. This is where truth is kept, not in computers. Not in books, but in light and feeling. They walked deeper into the cave, passing long halls and open chambers. Some showed Earth's past dinosaurs, ancient humans, great cities rising and falling. Others showed alien worlds, strange creatures, flying cities, floating oceans. Ryan stared at it all, feeling small, but not afraid. Finally, Elor stopped at a dark corner of the cave. This part was quiet, colder, untouched. A small crystal sat in the center, dim and gray. Elor knelt before it and touched the base. The crystal lit up, showing a new imagery standing in the snow. With Elor behind him, Ryan gasped. That's me. Yes, Elor said. You are now part of this memory. Ryan stepped closer, looking into the crystal. I'm just a kid, he said again. I don't know how to save a planet. Elor looked at him with calm eyes. You are not asked to save it, he said. You are asked to speak, sometimes. Truth alone is enough to change everything. Ryan nodded slowly, his heart heavy with purpose. He wasn't a soldier or a hero, but he had seen, he had felt. And maybe that was enough. Suddenly, the cave lights flickered. A cold wind blew through the halls. "They are near," Elor said, standing quickly. "They cannot be allowed to." Reach this cave, he handed Ryan a glowing orb, brighter than the one before. "This is a copy of the message," he said. "If I fall, you must escape with it." "No," Ryan said. Stepping forward, "We do this together." Elor paused, surprised, then he nodded. "Proud? Yes," he said softly. "Together, just." Then the cave entrance rumbled. A sharp sound cut through the air. Metal scraping stone. The red-eyed machines had found the door. One by one, they crawled through the entrance. Hissing, scanning, hunting. Ryan's hand trembled, but he stood tall. Elor raised both hands and stepped in front of the boy. A glowing wall appeared between them and the invaders, but it was weak. It wouldn't last long. "They are breaking through," Ryan said. "What do we do?" "There is a hidden exit," Elor said, pointing to the far wall, "but only one of us can go." Ryan looked up, heart pounding. He had a choice, now hide or act. He looked at the glowing message in his hand, then at the symbols on the cave. Wall's truth lived here, and he had become part of that truth. He turned to Elor and nodded. "Show me the way out." Elor pressed a crystal, and a door opened in the floor. A small platform rose up, shaped for one. Ryan stepped onto it. Gripping the message tightly, Elor touched his forehead gently. "You are braver than most adults," he said. "Do not forget who you are." The platform lowered into the ground, sealing behind him. Ryan was gone, moving through hidden tunnels. Toward the stars, above the machines, broke through. But Elor stood tall, glowing bright. He was not just a watcher now. He was a protector, and far below, a child with a message was heading for the light. Not to hide, but to be heard. The tunnel was narrow and quiet. Ryan stood on the small platform as it moved slowly through the earth. The soft light around him pulsed like a heartbeat, matching the glow from the message in his hand. He didn't know where it was taking him, but he trusted Elor. He trusted the mission. Even if it scared him, he held the glowing device tight against his chest, as if it could protect him. Suddenly, the tunnel opened into a round room filled with silver light. In the center stood a tall crystal console, with a glass circle floating above it. This was what Elor had spoken about. The place where the message had to be sent. Ryan stepped forward slowly. The room felt alive. Like it knew he had come. The glass circle flickered, showing a map of Earth, satellites moving above the planet, and a blinking dot. "That's me." Ryan whispered. The device in his hand became warm. He placed it gently on the console, and the room began to hum. Waves of light passed through the air, reading the message inside the device. Then the console spoke, not with a voice, but with a gentle feeling in Ryan's mind, ready to transmit. It said, "Speak your truth." Ryan took a deep breath. His hands shook, but his voice was steady. "My name is Ryan," he said. "I'm 7 years old. And I met someone who is not from this world." He paused, thinking about Elor's eyes. The blanket, the food, the kindness. He saved me when no one else could, he continued, and he showed me that something bad is coming. The console pulsed gently, absorbing his words. Ryan spoke slowly, with heart. "Machines from space are coming to take what is not theirs," he said. "They don't care about people or animals or anything. They only want power." He looked into the glass circle, seeing Earth spin slowly. "But I believe we can stop them," he said. "If we listen, if we unite, if we remember what makes us human." Then he placed his hand on the crystal console, just like Elor had shown him. "I am not a soldier," he said. "I am not a hero. I'm just a kid. But sometimes Even a kid can see the truth. The room fell silent. Then the console blinked green. Transmission sent. It said, "Message." Received by 47 satellites, Ryan let out a breath. It was done. He had spoken. Now. The world would hear, but there was no time to rest. A red light blinked above the doorway. An alarm echoed through the room. Soft but sharp, "They found me." Ryan whispered, the door behind him opened, and wind rushed in. Outside, night had fallen, and the stars burned bright. In the sky above, red shapes moved fast, south searching the mountains. Ryan grabbed the device and ran. The path ahead led to the edge of a cliff. With trees below, he looked up, saw the red ships scanning the ground, beams of light sweeping side to side. He ducked behind a rock. Breathing fast, his heart thudded loudly, but his mind stayed clear. He had done his part, but if they caught him now, they could still erase the message. They could still stop the truth far away. A blue light blinked near the trees. Ryan's eyes lit up. It was Eeylore's signal. He was alive. He had escaped the cave, but between Ryan and the light were machines crawling. Hissing, scanning, he would have to move fast. He would have to trust his feet, just like he trusted his heart. He stood up, held the device tight, and ran through cold grass. Over rocks, under trees, the red beams passed close, but he stayed in the shadows. The signal grew brighter, and he ran faster. Suddenly, one of the machines spotted him. It let out a loud screech. And red lights focused on him. A beam shot past his shoulder, burning the tree beside him. Ryan didn't stop. He couldn't. Then, from the dark, a shape appeared, tall, glowing blue. Eeylore. He stepped between Ryan and the machine, raising both hands. A wave of light exploded outward. Knocking the machine back, Ryan ran into Eeylore's arms. Gasping for breath, "I sent the message," he said. Eeylore nodded, eyes full of pride. "No," he replied. "They heard you." Behind them, more machines were coming. But above them, in the sky, human satellites began to glow. Signals were bouncing across the world. Warnings, images, proof. The truth was spreading. And now, humanity would have to decide what to do with it. The forest was no longer silent. Lights filled the sky, blue, white, and red. The stars above were still, but the world below had begun to move. Ryan stood beside Eeylore, both of them breathing hard. Behind them, machines lay broken in the grass, sparks dancing across their metal shells. But more were coming. The fight was not over, and yet something had changed. High above, human satellites blinked together, spreading Ryan's message across the earth, not just to scientists or leaders, but to everyone, across phones, screens, radios, and networks. A single voice echoed, a child's voice, honest and calm, speaking about truth, trust, and danger. People listened. They didn't laugh. They didn't ignore. Because the message came not from a politician or a machine, but from a child, and that made it real. In homes, schools, bases, and labs, people stopped what they were doing and listened, and somewhere deep in the earth, someone whispered, "We are not alone." Back in the forest, Eeylore placed a hand on Ryan's shoulder. "You did what no one else could," he said. "You gave Earth a chance." Ryan looked up, tired but proud. "Will they believe it?" he asked. "They already do," Eeylore replied, "because you spoke from the heart, far above them." In Earth's orbit, defense systems began to shift. Silent Watchers machines, made by humans, turned their eyes to the sky. They didn't fire, not yet, but they were no longer blind. The red ships that chased Eeylore now hovered far above, waiting, watching. They knew the secret was out. Earth had been warned, and warning was the first spark of resistance. Ryan sat on a rock, pulling the blanket around him. He was just a kid. Again now, cold, hungry. But no longer afraid, Elor sat beside him. Silent for a moment, then he spoke softly. "I must leave soon." Ryan's smile faded. "Why?" He asked. "If I stay, I put you in danger," Elor said. "The others will come, not just machines, beings who do not want peace, but—" "I don't want you to go," Ryan said quietly. Elor nodded. "I do not want to leave either," he said, "but our bond will remain." He placed a small stone in Ryan's hand. It glowed softly, warm like the sun. "This will let me find you again," Elor said, "when the time is right." Ryan looked at the stone, holding it close. "Will you come back?" he asked. Elor stood slowly, his tall form shining under the starlight. "Yes," he said. "When Earth is ready, I will return." Above them, Elor's ship appeared silently, floating like a dream. A ramp opened, casting a soft blue light on the ground. Ryan stood, not wanting to say goodbye, but knowing it was time. He stepped forward and hugged Elor tightly, the alien's long arms wrapped gently around the boy. No words were spoken, but everything was understood as Elor walked. Up the ramp, Ryan stepped back. The ship rose slowly, then disappeared into the sky like a falling star, and just like that, he was gone. But Ryan was not alone. Behind him, the forest seemed brighter. Above him, the stars seemed warmer. Inside him, something had changed. Back at home, search teams were already looking for survivors in the snowy mountains. His parents were alive, hurt, but safe, and now they were about to be reunited with their son, the boy who had seen the stars. When they found Ryan, he didn't speak much. He just smiled and said, "I'm okay now," and in his pocket kept a glowing stone. The world never fully understood how the warning came. Some believed, some didn't, but something was different now. Satellites watched the skies, and people began to listen more, trust more, fear less. And in the heart of one small boy was a memory of a friend with glowing eyes, a blanket in the snow, and a bond that no distance could break. Ryan knew one day Elor would return. And next time, he wouldn't be alone. He would come as a friend, not a watcher, because of a bond born in the snow, a child lost, a message sent, and a new bond written in the stars.